Growth hack your brand and then destroy anything that moves.
You need to grind hustle your platform manifest.
It's all about entropy, elegance, and finance. Blockchain.
Invest in real estate every day.
Invest in meal estate every morning.
You need to mind hack the mind shackles that are grabbing your mind. Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a day. Eat the man who just fished and you'll eat for a lifetime.
Spartans!
Business Money Hacks. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business Money Hacks. I'm Bridge Stewart.
I'm Dustin Taylor Hahn.
Today we're gonna, we've chronicled the titans, so many titans of the Silicon Valley entrepreneurial movement, and we thought we would tackle one of the whales.
We wanted to talk about Mark Zuckerberg, the Zuckmeister.
Big Zuck.
Bridge, you and I know him very closely. We're good friends with Zuckerberg, and in a certain way gets a bad rap just in the media. He comes across as this sort of nerdy guy, computer tech wizard, kind of weird, kind of offbeat. And
it's an act
about that? It's
interesting. Everybody looks at him and they make the jokes like, "Oh, Zuckerberg, he's a robot," or like he's a lizard man.
Yeah.
He ain't a lizard man. I mean, there's definitely some of those.
They surely exist. Even robots.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but Zuckerberg. I mean, here's the thing with Zuckerberg. He's a natural born performer. People talk about actors, these performance arts. Andy Kaufman. Zuckerberg is sort of the apex of that. He has himself, who he is, Mark Zuckerberg as a person, and then he has the Zuckerberg for the world. And that's what we see. Yeah, the persona, the awkward, sort of nerdy guy.
All that stuff when he was talking to Congress. His skin was very odd color. He looked like Data from Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
All of that was an act. He gets on the video and he talks about eating meats in a very odd way.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I mean,
it's a good business move.
It threw off Congress. The way they were asking him questions, I mean, they felt uncomfortable. You could see it in their face, looking at him and being like, ugh. That's what you want as an executive, for people to react to you in that way is, ugh.
It's a big act, and he is playing it well.
The highlights. Being in front of Congress, grilling the meat,
marrying a woman and having children. I mean, that seems that does seem like a normal thing.
He goes far with this act. He takes it to the extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, he's nuts. That whole thing where it was like he had Jarvis in his house and he's talking awkwardly to Jarvis and his wife, quote unquote. It's brilliant.
It throws off the public, and then you can really get your work done. Because you can't just be friends with the world. You have to be a predator. And I think that's what his persona is that he's trying to be this apex predator, cold, calculated guy.
And Mark Zuckerberg is the apex predator. We have, bears. Bears are pretty strong. What can kill a bear? An elephant. What can kill an elephant? Man. What can kill any man on earth? Mark Zuckerberg. He is the most ferocious, dangerous animal that has ever lived on planet Earth. He is the apex predator. And when you are the apex predator, you got to look like the apex predator. That's his persona. He just puts on the dead eyes. It's like a shark when its eyes roll back in its head. Right before it's about to bite.
Right when he bites down on all of your information, right when he sucks all of your info out and sells it to the highest bidder. That's shark-like tendencies, and
it's called shark mode. He goes into shark mode.
He goes into full shark mode.
I've seen it. I was hanging out with him once. We were chilling on a couch, and he was drinking a Bud Light, and he looks at me and he's like, "All right, time to go into shark mode." His whole face, it felt like it just dropped. He got on a conference call with the head of Instagram, and he just went full shark Zuck mode.
And then, but what's interesting is that he can go full shark Zuck mode and then just go right into chill. And again, the point of this is we're saying he is one of the coolest, chillest guys that you can meet. He's so cool. When we're hanging out with him, we're just straight lamping. We're
just chilling so hard. I have never chilled so hard with anybody except Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
that guy knows how to kick it.
Well, he's a cool guy. I mean, he'll show you his garage. It's just motorcycle, Jeep, motorcycle, Mustang.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sick Jeeps in his garage. You go over there, and he'll show you his Jeep collection. And he'll be like, hey, man, want to take a spin? And you're like, yeah. He's like, go ahead. Make your choice as to what Jeep you want to drive. And you're like, what? You're going to let me drive your Jeep? And he's like, hell yeah, brother. And then you just go for like a crazy drive through his like compound in Montana.
Yeah, he'll go, hell yeah, brother. He does his normal voice is just very raspy.
Yeah.
I mean, brother, take my Jeep.
Yeah, brother, hop in my Jeep. Take it for a spin, bro. And
it's
just
so interesting seeing a picture of him. He looks like a robot. He looks like
a nerd.
Calculator.
Shark mode.
Yeah, that's his nerd shark mode. He switches that right off, and he rides a I don't know if it's street legal, but he's in a Japanese motorcycle gang. He rides a Ronin, one of those crotch rockets, and he'll just ride it up and down the PCH.
Just up and down.
He'll say,
up and down for hours.
For days. He's been gone for days just riding it up and down the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, I mean, Sheryl Sandberg, she'll call him up and be like, hey, Mark, where are you? He's like, I'm really working hard at Facebook right now. Hangs up the phone. He's just cruising up the PCH in his Ducati.
He says, I got to clear my head, brother.
Yeah, that's what he'll say on the phone.
He'll say, I'm working. I'm calculating.
Oh, I got to calculate more.
He gets off the phone, and I'm holding his waist just so tightly because he's such a cool guy. And he'll say, like, sorry, I had to
deal with that bullshit. And it's like, that bullshit? You mean the multi-billion-dollar company that you own? And he's like, yeah, it's for the birds. And then he just goes even faster. I would
gotta clear my head. Just right, and he's in a motorcycle gang. Like I said, he brought the Yakuza out here because
he brought the Yakuza to America. Mark Zuckerberg brought the Yakuza to America for shits. He was friends with these guys. He was already friends with these guys. He's like, screw it. I'll fly all of you out. Private jets to California. Let's raise a little hell.
Yeah, he says raise hell. I'll say like, bye, Zuck. Good talking to you. Yeah, raise hell, brother.
Yeah, let's raise a little hell, brother. He like looks at you with that sort of twinkle in his eye and a wink, and it's just like, oh, Zuck, what are you up to now?
He has his bodyguards, and it's just this big Japanese man as his bodyguard. He's
like 7 feet tall Japanese man.
Guy wears sunglasses all the time. All the time. He never takes them off.
And his sunglass collection, let's just say, out of this world. He's got a basement filled with sunglasses. He'll wear a sunglass one day and just throw it out. He's got a fresh pair each day of the week.
Use my gym. Why not use my workout room?
Yeah, and his gym, it's got like a river going through it. When he's like, I got to get some laps in, he's swimming up a river that's going through his gym.
But what's great about him, he's half this muscle, he has perfect six-pack abs. You never see his shirt off.
He's ripped. He is shredded.
The guy's like the Terminator.
It's nuts. I seen him just going hard, just like smoking a blunt while working out in front of a giant 20-foot tall mirror and just watching him. And he's like kind of meditating while he does it.
Yeah.
And then he like has sparring partners that just show up, and he like knows like jujitsu.
And you're there and you're like, wow, what this guy? And he'll say, hey, let's go get some burritos, my treat. Treat. He'll just buy burritos for everybody.
It's nuts. I mean, in California, it's like, there's great Mexican food. Mark Zuckerberg knows the best burrito place I've ever had. The best burrito place in Santa Cruz. He'll just take you. It's underground. He takes you to an underground
Japanese burritos. He's got that fusion going.
Oh my God.
Street racing at night.
Illegal street racing with Yakuzas.
The women just flock to him. It's like a pheromone. Like, I don't know what he puts on him, but man, tens.
God. Yeah, all night. He makes his own body spray. I've seen him do it. Just going out to his backyard, like picking random herbs. I'm like, is this safe? He's like, look, I know what I'm doing. He like grinds them up in this like Native American pot and like boils it and sprays himself. Oh my God.
He just knows so much about herbology, and he builds his own furniture. Like, he built a cabin. You know, when he invited me over to one of his self-built cabins, he just was chopping all morning. Just chopping wood. Shirtless. Six-pack ads. He went on.
Six-pack ad. Yakuza tattoos all over his back.
Yeah, he's got the Yakuza neck tats.
Yeah, all over his back. Like, and I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you had to kill somebody to get those tats. Mark Zuckerberg has the highest of Yakuza tattoos. They don't just give it to anybody.
And they go down the spine. It's traditional Japanese. It's not just
insane. He walks the walk with the Yakuza. He is not a poser by any means.
But what's great is that he can get away with hanging out with these real tough as nails Yakuza guys.
Yeah.
But he also wears cowboy boots. You know, he's got this like American,
and it's wild because any crowd he'll just fit in and be the center of attention. I mean, like, he'll go to the London fashion show, and just these supermodels will be coming up to him and just being like, Mark Zuckerberg, what does it feel like to be the definition of sex? And he. Mark Zuckerberg will just like...
He's just James Bond and
you'll look at them and yawn and be like, it's exhausting. Mark Zuckerberg is...
He's a chameleon. He can hang out with these Brits and be James Bond to the T. Then he could hang out with these Japanese motorcycle gang and just ride along.
Yeah, or just like kick it in Turkmenistan. He like... knows people out there and just sort of like just chills out in Turkmenistan sometimes. Like, I don't even know what he's doing out there.
You don't know what he's doing, and that's kind of the mystery of the Zuck. You know, when he leaves a room, he'll say, go Zuck. And you're like, what? Go Zuck?
Go Zuck?
What does that mean? Go Zuck?
Oh my God. I mean, it's like a performance of a performance of a performance. There's so many layers to what's going on, and overall it's hilarious what he's doing. Just the sly mockery of his public persona.
I feel intimidated sometimes when I talk to Zuckerberg because he's got 10-inch pythons, dude. But you know, he could lift you up. He could lift up a car.
He has a car in his gym. He has a sedan, and he'll just like walk up to that. It's like, all right, time to start warming up. He lifts the car, not like he lifts up the bumper. It's like, holy shit, Mark Zuckerberg, you are ripped.
He's got those. You ever watch the World's Strongest Man competition? He just has those huge stone balls, and he'll just.
He's a legend. He's a kind of a mix of like Leonardo da Vinci meets James Bond meets like Genghis Khan meets John Wayne meets like Thomas Jefferson meets Mao Zedong. Like he really is a mix of just everybody.
The everyman Mark Zuckerberg, and that does lead into kind of Facebook as a whole, because he's always watching. He's constantly, you know, his sunglasses. He has like all Facebook pages just flipping through, like.
Oh yeah.
You know, because he has photographic memory. He's flipping through Facebook pages every moment of every day. So he's able to gain other people's lives and persona through that.
Oh, yeah.
Because Facebook is a business, but it's also a personal thing to him. You know, downloading other personalities.
It's more, Facebook is less a business and more just Mark Zuckerberg's experiment in like sort of understanding the human condition. Like it's more just for him to flip through 1,000 pages a minute and just sort of ingest all that information. I mean, if you've seen Blade Runner 2, where he's like scrolling through all of those documents and just immediately like treating them,
understanding.
that's Zuckerberg, essentially.
But he could do that, but also just chill out.
He's the apex. He's the apex bro. He just chills so hard and makes money so hard.
He doesn't need us, but he uses us to become that man. You know, that apex man, Vitruvian man.
Oh yeah, he takes something from everybody. You're never sure what exactly he's going to take from you, whether it's just an aspect of a personality or something. Like, he's just constantly ingesting the world.
Just talking about him, like, I don't think I know him well enough.
I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody knows Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think anybody's capable of knowing Mark Zuckerberg. He's like a riddle.
He's an enigma. Yeah.
He's the answer to a question nobody asked.
I'm just looking at a picture of Mark Zuckerberg. This is the future of humanity. This dude, man, what a cool guy!
Oh my God, Mark Zuckerberg, and the way he walks, you just look at him. It's I would say it's less like walking and more like floating. The way he moves.
Go to Google, type in Mark Zuckerberg Harvard commencement speech, and go to the images.
I mean, look at him. Look at this man. Oh, he's got that devilish grin on his face. He's pointing. Look at that. I mean, he knows the rules, and he's breaking all of them. He's the definition of raw sexuality.
Every man wants to be him. Every woman wants to be with him.
Every animal becomes confused with its own existence when it looks at Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I saw Mark Zuckerberg. He walked into a tiger cage, and it was an angry tiger. It was a tiger that hadn't been fed, and he saw through the animal, and the tiger just relaxed and went on its belly. And...
Dude, he has like a supernatural connection with animals. I've heard people have been like, there's ants in my house, it's infested. He'll go into the house, hey, look, just give me like 20 minutes and a bottle of Jack Daniels. Everybody will leave the house, and by the time they come back in, the ants are leaving the house.
Orderly.
And they're like, what did you do? And he's like, look, I just kind of had to have a heart-to-heart with them. What?
He'll go up to a bee's nest and say, this is not your place. You need to go.
He has a farm. He's got a bunch of sheep. He doesn't need a sheepdog. Those sheep know.
He's a master archer, too. He's like a modern-day Robin Hood. Except he's taking everyone's information and hoarding it for himself.
Yeah. I mean...
But other than that, you know, he's like Robin Hood.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you think about it, like, I guess that's not that cool.
Sure. But man, is he using it to look so cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, once you get past the information hoarding and, like, selling it to, like, corporations and stuff. But once you get past that, he is so cool. Like, he surfs. He'll just, like, go to Australia on a whim and, like, surf these huge waves that normal people would like drown.
He saved a native Polynesian man who's a professional surfer. He saved him from a shark.
Dude's been surfing his entire life, and Mark Zuckerberg comes and saves a native Polynesian surfer from a shark.
Well, I think the native Polynesian dude, he might have had a Facebook page, and that's where he downloaded that information on how to surf. It doesn't take him, what I'm saying is it doesn't take him long to learn a new skill.
No, it does not take Mark Zuckerberg long at all to learn any skill. I mean, dude's a pilot after 3 hours of training. He can fly a 747.
They fast tracked him.
Prob.
He puts his sunglasses on.
It's kind of like The Matrix, where it's like, download information on how to fly an attack helicopter. It's sort of like that with Mark Zuckerberg, except it's his own brain that's doing the processing.
Download information on how to ride a Japanese motorcycle, Yamaha 650. You know, when he sees it like a hot young model at a party, he'll put his sunglasses on and he'll look at her Facebook page.
Yeah, he'll look at her Facebook page and like download
What a cool guy.
Yeah, he'll look at the supermodel and just be like, download all their personal history or family history.
And he'll know exactly the right. He'll know what makes her tick. He'll know her family history.
Her grades on a math test from like 8th grade. Like, he'll know that information.
Like he's a psychologist or something. Like he knows about her innermost fears and loves.
Oh, yeah. Through the Facebook and through getting private information onto his sunglasses. He never takes off. That are always on. And it's like, in a relationship, usually, it takes time. You got to get to know the person. You learn all this stuff. Mark Zuckerberg just skips that. He goes straight to the core of who a person is at the very beginning through his Facebook sunglasses.
Yeah.
Such a cool guy.
What a cool guy.
Plus, I heard, like, he can throw a football like a mile.
They wanted him for the NFL, and he
said no thanks.
He said no thanks.
It's too tame for me. He said the NFL is too soft. And they were like, what? He's like, yeah, it's not physically exerting enough for me.
Wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. He looked at the NFL commissioner and said, sorry, football is for pussies.
He was in Beirut, and there was a burning building. And, there were a few children on the top floor of this burning building, and he just went right to it. And he saved those kids.
Yeah, he saved a lot of kids from a lot of burning buildings. And
it's what he does. He says, go, Zuck. And then he'll just spring into action.
Yeah, he's installed springs in his shoes.
Anyway, all it is to say is that, like, we're very good friends with Mark Zuckerberg. We're still trying to figure him out.
Yeah, and just know that, like, a lot of information is being sold to corporations. But Mark Zuckerberg...
And dark entities, not just corporations.
Yeah, I mean, he's selling information to a lot of people.
Dark places on the web, it's going out to governments. It's going out to China.
It's pretty wild. But also remember that he's like a renowned hang glider in, like, South Nigeria. Like, he is... very cool dude.
Well, anyway, that was very informative. I'm really glad that we talked about this, Bridge, and we shed some light onto Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I think this is very beneficial to our listeners and to ourselves in many ways. It's good to focus on these geniuses of the industry and just create a cult of personality around these individuals. I think that's very healthy.
And as Zuckerberg would say, always be analyzing. He says that a lot. Just constantly be analyzing. It's almost as if he's looking at you, but he's looking through you.
He's a titan, a true titan. Well, thank you for listening to Business Money Hacks. I'm Bridge Stewart.
And I'm Dustin Taylor Hahn, and we really appreciate it. Like and subscribe and tell your friends about the podcast. That would be very beneficial so we can continue doing this thing. Getting information out to you, important information, how you can be successful in business, and how you can sort of become a chameleon in a certain way.
Or an apex shark man, as Mark Zuckerberg likes to refer to himself.